Chosen ones. Sometimes you have to move in silence. Why? Because they try to hinder your growth. When people realize that you're on some stuff working towards your goals to have a vision, they will try to hinder your growth. So when somebody sees that you're trying to go and change the world, they're gonna convince you to try to, come over here, hang out with them, waste your time. They're gonna try to convince you to, go do something bad and ruin your life or whatever. It's one of those things where they're gonna just try to convince you to get in trouble. They're gonna try to convince you to, mentally hurt yourself. They're gonna try to convince you to emotionally hurt yourself. They're gonna try to convince you to physically hurt yourself. Why? Because it's a form of manipulation. They don't want you to achieve your goals. They don't want you to achieve your dreams. So they're going to try to do everything they can to hinder that growth. They're going to go and tell lies about you. They're going to go and manipulate you. They're going to go and... I would edit that out, but I'll just wait for all the bless yous in the comments. But the reason why I move in silence, okay, so like my testimonial, my story here. I have a trucking company. I have a car rental company, a taxi company / non-emergency, and a YouTube. Okay. My friends don't even know the channel to my YouTube channel. I don't tell anybody the channel to my YouTube channel. It's not because I'm scared they're gonna watch my videos. It's not because of anything else. It's because people will hinder your growth, and sometimes they will do it without even knowing. So when I say they're gonna hinder your growth, what they do is they project. When you tell somebody, like my favorite quote was the Jay-Z. It's like, I told my uncle I would sell 1 million records, and he said I couldn't sell 1 million records. I sold 1 million records 1 million times. So it's one of those things where you go and tell somebody, hey, I want to sell 1 million records. You tell somebody, hey, I want to be spreading the truth on YouTube, and I think I'm gonna blow up. People are gonna project their insecurities, their doubts, their negative emotions onto you. So they're gonna say, how are you gonna do that? There's all these people that do it anyways. It's hard to make it on YouTube. It's hard to make it. Well, it takes a lot of time. Well, it's gonna take a lot of effort. And like I said, they're gonna just try to convince you not to do it. They're gonna just try to convince you not to do it. And my thing is, sometimes if it's the people that are close to you, the people around you that you actually care about and listen to and take advice from, sometimes that can hinder your growth. So if you go and tell somebody, hey, I want to be the best violin player, they'd say, to be the best violin player, you have to buy the best violin. That's expensive. And then you might be like, dang, I don't have the best violin ever. So even though I have this raggedy violin, maybe he's right. And now look, it's like you could have been the best violin player with this cheap violin. It would have made you more famous than somebody who has the most expensive. But that's the fact that you listen to them. Now you're like, and it hinders your growth. So the next time you see somebody, like, what happened? You still be able to play the violin? Oh, no, I don't really play. I'm waiting, I guess, to save up for a better violin. I don't know. And it's like, it's one of those things where now you just wasted, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months because of something someone said. Imagine that person would have never came into your life. Imagine if you would have went to somebody else and you told them, hey, I want to be the best violin player in the world. And they said, oh, man, you got it. He's like, that violin I see you with, you be killing it every time I see you, man. Bro, you not only are you amazing, but people are going to notice. The world's going to notice. Everybody's going to love you. Bro, I believe in you. That makes you hype. You go and you know what I'm saying? You be in that hole just killing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where not only should you surround yourself with positive people, but even positive people will project their insecurities onto you. So it's one of those things where you have to move in silence. You don't have to tell everybody everything that you're doing. Your friends don't have to know everything that you're doing. Why? Because sometimes they will subject subconsciously and they will hinder your growth without even knowing it. So it's one of those things where, like I said, you have to move in silence and achieve the goal that you want to by yourself sometimes. You have to do it alone sometimes. Okay? Because, like I said, people will hinder your growth. People will hinder your growth. So once you become successful, you can go back and tell everybody. Once you become famous, you go back and tell everybody. Once my channel hits 10K subscribers, I might go and tell people. Why? Because at that point, I have 10,000 people that already watch my content. I have 10,000 people that already supported me. And then when I go and say, hey, remember that time I told you I wanted to be a YouTube motivational speaker and you told me I couldn't do it? Well, there's 10,000 people that believe that I can. There's 10,000 people that not only been motivated, I've changed at least 1 or 2 people's lives, but it's one of those things where I'm glad I didn't listen to you. I'm glad I didn't listen to you. I'm glad I listened to myself. I'm glad I believed in myself. I'm glad I chose to, trust myself and trust the process. Okay. So at the end of the day, like I said, you have to move in silence. Why? Because the haters will hinder your growth. You have to move in silence. Why? Because people will hinder your growth and they don't even know they're doing it sometimes. Sometimes people do it intentionally, manipulate you. Sometimes people don't even realize they're doing it. Okay. Okay.